Welcome to another edition of The Brash, Sean's View Entertainment on YouTube.com. Make sure to like this video and subscribe. I'm going to start something new, something fresh. I'm going to start reviewing the show Undercover Boss, and I might be reviewing some other shows in the future. If this catches on, I'll keep doing it. If it kind of just falls flat, I'm going to stop it. It all depends on you, the comments, the views, and the opinions. So, Undercover Boss, Mohegan Sun. Now, I'm about an hour away from Mohegan Sun. Locations such as Connecticut and Pennsylvania. Now, the chairman would go undercover in his own company by the name of Sam, but his real name is Bruce Two Dogs Bossum, or Bossum, whatever you want to go by. Very, very, very weird, but hey, you know what? He can do what he wants to do with his name. But now, his first of all, I want to cover his makeover. His makeover was nothing short of extraordinary. I mean, it was so unreal, his makeover, that his own son, who almost pretty much bumped arms with him, didn't even recognize it was his own father, and he works right in a Mohegan Sun as well. So this was something else, that the son didn't even recognize him. Now, when the chairman started passing around drinks, he was very clumsy, and he was not off to a good start. Let's just get that out of the way. And the chairman would then do valet parking. And this would still also be in Pennsylvania. And he did a bit better job with the valet parking, but then when it came to him getting timed, just threw him way off. It was too stressful, and for a guy his age, he really can't be out there trying to, run and enforce, how to get the cars. He even had trouble trying to get inside the car. It just ended up being a big cluster mess, and it was just bad. A lot of running, a lot of hustling. When you're valet parking, you got to be on top of your game, and you got to make sure you know where these cars are, what the sections are. It's not all that easy. But like I said, once he became timed, things were just thrown right off. It was very stressful, as he stated, and he did not make it back in the 5-minute time frame, so that went bad. Didn't go over too well. It gives you a whole new perspective when you see these jobs, and when you see these different people working these jobs. You look at it and you're like, oh, that's nothing. But then when you actually do it, it's a whole different ball game. Then the chairman would then become a slot attendant. Once again, this was a very busy and challenging job for the chairman. There was too much going on at once. He kept missing the commands on his speaker. In my opinion, there was a failure to communicate right there, and that's yet another job I would not like doing either. Then he would become a chair crew member in Connecticut. Like I said, this was finally in Connecticut. I was hoping that they were going to focus more on Connecticut, but they really didn't do that in this episode. But anyways, they go to the Mohegan Sun Arena, where the WWE has been many times, a number of times. The chairman would help set up, and it was a rough start, but he would end up coming out, being out of breath. Setting up all those chairs and having to do it in a set amount of time, and things always changing and rapid movements. The pace was too much for him once again. Like I said, it's physically demanding. I mean, you got to run, you got to hustle, you got to be fast, and if you're not, you're going to be way behind. Once again, this was just another thing of he could not keep up, but. I think he probably did the best at this than all the other things he did in the show. And then, of course, at the end, the workers would be, giving their feedback on whether or not they thought that the undercover boss should, get a job, review how he did. And, of course, they were all surprised. They were in awe that it was actually the chairman that they were working with all along, the employees that worked with him during all these different chapters of the program, of where he would be, chair crew member or a slot attendant. And, of course, he would repay these employees with money, GEDs, paying to go to Wembley Stadium, $10,000 here, $15,000 there. Just a variety of different things for all these employees that worked alongside, the chairman of the board. So, ladies and gentlemen, I look forward to your comments and your opinions. I'd give the show, out of 5 stars, I'd say it was probably 3.5 out of 5 stars. I mean, it was an okay show. It was decent. Like I said, I wish they would have focused a little bit more on Connecticut. But, it was what it was. And like I said, this was my first time doing this, so I don't have really all my notes together as good as I would. It was a last-minute thing. I decided to do this at the last second. I said, you know what? I'm going to start reviewing the show. And I'm sorry if it wasn't that great, and I'm sorry if you're lost as to what I'm saying. But if you don't know how the show works, then you can start watching it for yourself, and maybe you can, give a review yourself. But 3.5 out of 5 stars, and there you go. Subscribe.